Hi friends, Shripad here from Investry. Today's video is going to be of most importance. It is about price action. What is price action? Price action is basically up and down movement of the price of a particular stock or an index. So always you remember that in the market there are buyers and there are sellers. So when the buyers volume or the buyer's intensity overcomes the seller intensity, so the market is going to go up, and the other way around, when the sellers are aggressive, the market comes down. So just for the example purpose, I have taken the nifty chart here. Okay, so in terms of the time frame, so what I normally use for intraday is 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes max. So intraday is never less than 5 minutes or more than 30 minutes. For the swing trading, typically it is a daily chart. Okay. And for long term investment, it is weekly or monthly, preferably monthly, weekly for sometimes the exit. Now, as you can see here, so the Nifty chart. So what I have here is this is the 20 EMA and I have a 5 EMA. Okay, so these two are the only two indicators. Now, as you can see, Nifty, what has happened now is basically it was all the way going up. So if I put the monthly, so this is around COVID. So from the COVID, all the way it has seen an upward rally until the month of September. So in the October month, it fell down, and then now it is slightly on a bear market. So you should be able to identify when you look at a chart. Okay, so may it be daily, weekly, or monthly, what is the overall trend of the market. So now if you can see, overall trend of the market on a weekly basis is downward. However, it is at a good support. Now, why do I say this as a support? Because you can see here, the last time when it was hovering around this price, it waited for a few weeks before it took an upward trend. Okay, now there is a good chance that at this juncture it may wait some time before it breaks upward or down or break downward. Okay, so there is a possibility. Now this is all again a probability based. Always remember, the price action or the predicting the price movement is an art. It is not a science. Okay, so there is no set of exact rules. If you follow this, you are going to be successful. It is always about what is your view of the market, what is your risk, what is your reward. As long as your risk to reward is at least 1 is to 2 or more, so and even if you take a probability of 50%, in the long run you are going to be successful. So so in this particular case, the nifty is, I would say, at a overall downward trajectory. However, it is at a support. Uh, whether this support is really a support is something the coming weeks has to say, as long as at least one weekly can breaks upward. Okay, so one way to identify, if at all, right? So when you started the downward trend, so somewhere in the September, end of September, is the price went above the 5 EMA and then that weekly candle breakdown. So as you can see, it came down and then little bit up. So from since then it is always in the I would say a lower trajectory. So this is one way. Now let me jump into another, probably a stock. Okay, so for example, Crompton Greaves. Okay, so this is just again an example. Okay, so not to say this is a recommendation or stock buying or selling tip. Okay, so it is only for the educational purpose. So Crompton gives, as you can see. So on a monthly basis, you can see it went up, and you can see how beautifully the resistance has formed. So the previous high was somewhere here. Around that time, it started reversing. You can see. Now, if I have to draw the monthly support and resistance, something like this. So you can see it is coming down. However, it is almost reaching its support. So there is a good chance that at this level it might bounce back, but we don't know. Okay. So these are the ways you can kind of take a clue. So what you definitely don't want to do is, if somebody is interested in buying a particular stock, you don't want to buy at this level wherein it is nearing its resistance. Okay, so you know that once it breaks the resistance, yes, but just before breaking the resistance, if you are on a long position, there is a very very high risk that it can come down. So at the same time, if you are basically a shorting position, so you don't want to short somewhere at the support. Okay, so these are the important things. So let me take one more example, probably voltas. Okay, so voltas again only for educational purpose. So you see the monthly candle, the big breakdown in the January month, right? So followed by February is kind of little bit consolidation. So I would not say this is a fully reversal. If I look at a shorter time frame, so you see this is a good example for if somebody want to kind of look at. Okay, uh, so the last support was somewhere here, it bounced back from that region. So voltas is in a good position. However, you can do your own assessment of uh, of what you want to do, but generally this is how the price moves. The price gives you a hint about where it might start coming down or where it might start moving upward. However, it is extremely hard for anyone to, however the expert he may be or she may be, to catch the exact bottom and sell at the exact top. So you will have to look for at least catching that 50%. Leave the 25% bottom, 25% at the top, but as long as you are able to get the center core 50%, you are one of the best trader. So that is how you can kind of say. Let me also see IRCTC just for this example purpose. So IRCTC, you see what is happening in IRCTC on a weekly basis. So all around downward trend. Again, things are at support. So we can't really say what happens next unless we get one candle break upward. Okay, so this is the kind of way. Now, one more thing along with this, you will have to see is with the volume. Okay, uh, whether the break upward or breakout has happened with a good volume. Okay, so that is something you would like to see. So in the Crompton case, we forgot to see that, but let me look at that. So you see, in case of Crompton, this week has breakout happened of the previous week, and also there is a good volume. I mean, considerably good volume. I mean, it's not the highest volume, however, the volume was good. You see here, the volume was pretty good and it rallied a little bit. So never ever try to catch the entire trend. So somebody may say in this rally, from whatever it has happened from here to here, I would catch this entire thing. Okay, so this is almost impossible. Your aim should be to catch somewhere here and exit somewhere here. Okay, so when you get, so as long as this is 50%, leave the 25% below, 25% above, you are a very good trader for sure. Okay, now however for long term investor, there could be a lot of correction, and people try to add in on the dips. So suppose somebody is on a very very long term investor in Crompton, for example, they may, instead of selling at this position, they may try to buy or add more at the support region. So these are the tricks you can use. I hope this has given a lot of good insight into how the price moves, what you need to look at during the price movement. Please like, subscribe my channel. That gives me motivation to bring out similar content. Thank you.